Are you a first-time homebuyer struggling to save enough for a down payment? What if I told you there are programs that could help you buy a home with little to no money down? But here's the catch. These programs aren't for everyone, and today I'm going to reveal the hidden truths about down payment assistance that most lenders won't tell you. Before we dive into the pros and cons, let's understand exactly what these programs are and how they work. Down payment assistance programs, or DPAs, are typically offered by state and local governments, nonprofits, and sometimes even lenders themselves. Their goal is simple: help people become homeowners by reducing the upfront cost of buying a home. These programs come in four main types. First, you have grants. This is essentially free money that doesn't need to be repaid. For example, some cities offer up to $20,000 to qualified buyers within certain income brackets. No strings attached, right? Well, we'll get to that shortly. Second, there are forgivable loans. Think of these like grants with conditions. Let's say you get $10,000 for your down payment. If you stay in the home for a set period, usually 5 to 10 years, that loan is completely forgiven. But if you move or sell before then, you'll have to pay back some or all of it. Third, we have deferred payment loans. These are second mortgages with a twist. You don't make any monthly payments. Instead, the entire amount becomes due when you sell, refinance, or pay off your main mortgage. Many first-time buyers use these because there's no immediate impact on their monthly budget. And fourth, there are low interest loans that you pay back monthly alongside your mortgage. While these mean an extra monthly payment, they often have interest rates below market value. The amount you can receive varies dramatically by location and program type. I've seen everything from $5,000 up to $100,000 in high-cost areas like San Francisco. Most programs require a minimum credit score, usually 620 to 640, and almost all require that the home will be your primary residence. No investment properties allowed. One common misconception is that these programs are only for first-time buyers. While many are, about 40% of programs are actually available to repeat buyers who haven't owned a home in the last 3 years. Teachers, healthcare workers, first responders, and veterans often have access to special programs with even better terms. Let's talk about some of the biggest down payment assistance programs you might hear about across the country. NACA is probably the most well-known. It stands for Neighborhood Assistance Corporation of America, and it's different from anything else out there. They offer no down payment, no closing costs, and here's the kicker: no minimum credit score. But don't think it's easy. You'll spend 3 to 6 months going through workshops and counseling. It's a process, but the terms are incredible, and we're talking below market interest rates. Next up is the Good Neighbor Next Door program from HUD. This one's specifically for teachers, law enforcement, firefighters, and EMTs. If you qualify, listen to this. You can get 50% off the list price of homes in revitalization areas. The catch? You have to live there for at least 3 years, and the homes are only in specific neighborhoods. The Chenoa Fund is another big one. It's available in almost every state and offers up to 3.5% down payment assistance with both FHA and conventional loans. You don't have to be a first-time home buyer, but you do need a credit score of at least 620. But what makes this one special is they'll completely forgive the loan after 36 months of on-time payments. Finally, let's talk about the Dream Makers program with PenFed Foundation. This one's specifically for military members, veterans, and government employees. They'll match your savings 3 to 1 up to $5,000. So if you have $1,667, they'll give you $5,000, and it's a grant, not a loan. But you'll need to prove you saved that money over at least 3 months. Before we dive into the pros and cons, I want to let you know that I've created an ultimate guide to buying a home that goes even deeper into these programs. You can download it for free using the link in the description below. Now let's talk about the benefits. The obvious one is getting help with your down payment, which can be anywhere from 3% to 20% of your home's purchase price. These programs often have lower credit score requirements than traditional mortgages, and contrary to popular belief, they're not just for first-time buyers. Many programs are available to repeat buyers who haven't owned a home in the last 3 years. So who are these programs really good for? They're ideal for buyers who have steady income but struggle to save due to high rent or student loans. If your monthly mortgage payment would be similar to or less than your rent, but saving for a down payment is the main hurdle, these programs could be your path to homeownership. Finally, they can work well for buyers in appreciating markets. If home values in your area are rising faster than you can save, getting in sooner with assistance might be better than waiting to save for a larger down payment. as long as you're comfortable with the program's requirements. But here's where it gets interesting. The downsides that nobody talks about. As the saying goes, nothing in life is ever free. First, availability. These programs aren't offered everywhere and they can run out of funding. What works in California might not exist in Texas. Income restrictions are a big one. Most programs have strict income limits that can actually prevent you from qualifying if you make too much money. Ironic, right? Interest rates are also typically higher than market rates, sometimes by 1%. That might not sound like much, but it can cost you tens of thousands over the life of your loan, especially in a high rate environment like the one we are currently in. Let me put that in perspective. On a $300,000 home, that could cost you an extra $30,000 to $60,000 over a 30-year mortgage. Now, the occupancy requirements can really limit your options. Most programs require you to live in the home for 5 to 10 years. Think about that. No renting it out, no selling it if you get a job offer in another state, no upgrading to a bigger home when your family grows, unless you're ready to pay back all that assistance. Here's one that surprises people: refinancing restrictions. Let's say interest rates drop 2 points below what you're paying. With many DPA programs, you can't refinance without paying back the assistance. You're stuck watching everyone else save hundreds per month while you're locked into your higher rate. Finally, these programs can run out of money. I've seen buyers get all the way to closing only to find out that the program's funds were depleted. Now they're scrambling to find alternative financing or risk losing their dream home. So, how do you decide if down payment assistance is right for you? It's not a simple yes or no. We need to look at your full financial picture. First, let's look at your monthly budget. Even though DPA means less money up front, it usually comes with higher monthly payments. Why? You're typically looking at higher interest rates and extra mortgage insurance. We need to make sure that those payments won't stretch you too thin. Think about your long-term plans too. Are you planning to stay in the home for at least 5 years? DPA makes more sense when you're in it for the longer haul, since you'll have time to build equity despite those higher monthly costs. In more competitive environments, sellers might actually prefer traditional loans over DPA. That's just the reality we're dealing with, but in less competitive neighborhoods, DPA could work great. Here's what I've seen work well. If you've got good credit and haven't saved a huge down payment yet, DPA could be your ticket to homeownership sooner. Just make sure that you've got room in your budget for those higher payments. But before we jump into DPA, let's explore all of your options. Maybe you've got family who could gift you funds, or you could borrow from your 401k. Sometimes waiting a few months to save while building your credit score is the smartest move. Remember, just because DPA gets you in the door with less money doesn't automatically make it your best choice. Make sure you can run the numbers together with a trusted loan officer and figure out what makes sense for your situation. Down payment assistance isn't a magic solution. It's a tool that works for some situations, but not others. If you want to learn more about buying your first home, be sure to check out this video next. And don't forget to download your free ultimate guide to buying a home in the description below. I'll see you in the next video.